Hello, my name is Lydia. Welcome back to my own little corner. Today I thought I would share with you all the books I read in 2023. I have a couple different sections. I have a classic, a romance, and a mystery, as well as a children's. And I just thought this would be a kind of fun video to do today. The first book I have is Persuasion by Jane Austen. This is the first time I've ever read this book, and I really enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite books I read this year. If you haven't read it, I would highly recommend it. Another book I read was Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, and this was another book that I really enjoyed. I had read this once before, but it was even better on the second read. I just really enjoyed it. This book in particular has really pretty illustrations, and it's just one of my favorite books to pick up and read. It's very cozy and enjoyable. The next book I have is Heidi. This was another enjoyable read for me. I absolutely love this copy. This is another classic, so I won't go too far into it, but it's basically about Heidi who goes to live with her grandfather, and she meets Peter and a bunch of other people and goes on a lot of adventures and learns about life and being kind and about the Bible, and I think it's a really cute book. Definitely one of my favorites for the year. And another book I have that I read this year is Pride and Prejudice. I've read this one before, but I decided to read it again this year, and I absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite book of all time. I really love this copy too. It has letters from the story in it, and so it makes it extra fun to read. So yeah, this is another really great classic. I also read the Little House on the Prairie series. I absolutely love these books. I'd read them before, but I decided to read them again this year. They're a childhood favorite for me, so they're really cozy and comforting. It follows Laura Ingalls Wilder and her family, and just about their life as pioneers and the adventures they have and things they go through. It starts in her childhood and goes until she's adult, so it's really just fun to see her whole life play out. Another book I read this year was Anne of the Island, and it was very enjoyable. I don't have a physical copy of that one because I listened to it on Audible, but I hadn't previously read or listened to that one, so it was a very enjoyable read for me. I only had read Anne of Green Gables and Anne of Avonlea before, so it was really fun to get to see the third part of the series, and it was a very good book. Next book I have is a Amish romance. It is called Christmas in Sugar Creek. I read this one around Christmas time, and it was a lot of fun to read. It's kind of like a countdown to Christmas. It is just a really quick, easy read that ends very cutely and satisfyingly. So I had a lot of fun reading this one. Next book I have in my romance section is a series with 4 books in it. It was Still Asher, It Was Always Jace, It Could Only Be Tyler, and the first one, It Had to Be Mason by Emily Lowry. These were a super fun series for me to read in the summer. I absolutely love how summery and beachy it was. I loved where the setting was. It just made me want to be on the beach all the time. Each of these books has a really cute romance in it. This is a YA romance series, and all the characters show up in at least one other book, and they're all kind of friends with each other, so it just is a really cute thing, and it kind of makes you want to read the next one, knowing whose story you're going to read from the previous book. So these are another book that I really enjoyed. Another book I have is Miss Newberry's List. This was historical romance. This was another really fun one for me. It's basically about a girl who is getting married out of duty, but she remembers a list she made when she was a little girl of things she wants to do before she gets married. So she ends up finding this man to help her and then their whole love story plays out, and it's just a really cute book. Probably one of my very favorites for the whole year, so I definitely recommend it if you just like cute, fun, happy romances. Next is my mystery section. I like mysteries, but I like them to be very mild. The first books I want to talk about are the Enola Holmes books. These were a lot of fun for me. I really liked this one. I didn't like this one quite as much, but it was still a good story. I read all the books of these, and they're usually very, very enjoyable. The next books I have are Nancy Drew's. I really enjoyed these ones. I actually prefer the original ones more, but these are really fun too. These take place in modern day, and yeah, I really enjoyed these ones. They're just quick and easy reads. The next books I have are Pride, Prejudice, and Peril. This is a cozy mystery based on Jane Austen's novel Pride and Prejudice, and it follows a girl who is an English professor and absolutely loves Pride and Prejudice, and a really cute story plays out, and there's a murder, and they are actually filming a reality TV show called Who Wants to Marry Mr. Darcy. This was a lot of fun for me. The next book I have is By Book or by Crook. This is a Lighthouse Library murder mystery series. I think I read 3 more of these, or I actually listened to them on Audible, but this was really fun for me. I actually read it while I was in Outer Banks, and it takes place in the Outer Banks, so that was extra fun for me. It's really cute and cozy. There's a small subplot of a love triangle, but it doesn't take over the book, but it is still a cute romance. And this was just a very enjoyable book for me. There's a library in a lighthouse, which is like my dream, so it was very enjoyable. I also read a lot of cozy murder mysteries on Audible. I listened to 13 Hannah Swenson Bakery Mysteries by Joanne Fluke. Those are just really cozy books for me, and I enjoy them a lot. So I had fun just listening to them. They're not too scary or anything, so I enjoyed listening to them. Another book I read was Shady Hollow. I read the second one in that series too, called Cold Clay. They are really cute books about a little town of animals, and there's a reporter who's a fox, and she goes around solving these little murder mysteries in their town, and I think these are just really cute, cozy books, and it's a really cute idea. I also read Spare this year. It isn't my usual read, but because I'm very interested in the royal family, I decided to read it, and I did think it was very enjoyable. I actually listened to it on Audible, so I don't have a physical copy, but I'm glad I read it. It was very interesting. The next section I have is my children's section. So I have these 2 books, In Grandma's Attic and More Stories from Grandma's Attic. These are like classics for me. They're just very comforting for me. I've read them ever since I was a little girl. They're just basically grandma telling her granddaughter short stories and lessons from her childhood, and it's just a very cute book. These 2 are. I also read A Year Down Yonder. I also read A Long Way from Chicago, the first book, but I don't have that with me right now. I got it from the library. And these were just some of my favorites of the whole year. They're very sweet and touching, but also funny and enjoyable. They're by Richard Peck, and they were just one of my favorite books of the whole year, and they felt very cozy. I also have Schoolhouse in the Woods. I also read the first book, Happy Little Family, but I don't have that one with me right now. This was a very cute book. I read it after I read Little House on the Prairie, and it just kind of reminded me of that. I read the series when I was younger too, so it just reminded me of that and made me happy. It's just about a family and the youngest adventures and her thoughts and her growing up. It's just a very cute book. I also read Cupcake Queen. This is about a girl whose mother and father get divorced, and so her mother decides to open up a bakery in her hometown. I enjoyed it. It was a very, very cute book. I especially enjoyed the bakery aspect of it, and it was just a very fun, easy read. I also read The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. This is a very cute book. It's very easy and quick to read. I'm not sure if it's a children's, but I didn't know where else to put it, so I put it here. The illustrations in it are just beautiful, and I just had so much fun reading this book. It has little bits of wisdom, and it just makes you feel good and happy and cozy the whole time you're reading it. The next book I got was For the Love of Pete. This book I actually got at the library sale. I liked it, but it was a bit weird. It basically follows a girl on the journey to find her father. So it's a pretty cute book, but wasn't one of my favorites of the year. I also have Misty of Chincoteague. This was just a book I found in my house actually, but it was very enjoyable for me. It was just a cute little read. It's about a boy and his sister who find a wild horse, and they bring it back to their house, and they kind of fall in love with it once they earn the money for it. So it was just a cute book all around. I also got some books from the library and listened to some on Audible. The next book that I thought I'd tell you about is Ella Enchanted. I really enjoyed that book. I thought it was a super cute twist on the classic Cinderella. There's a lot of differences between her and Cinderella, which I just found kind of funny, but it still does kind of follow the basic storyline somewhat. I'd recommend reading it if you just want a quick read, or if you're younger and you just want a cute book that's a little bit about romance and a little bit just about this magical world. Another book from that series that I read is Fairest. This is a twist on Snow White. It's about a girl who is actually not very beautiful, unlike Snow White, and she's kind of finding her way through that and navigating through that when she gets an invitation to go to the palace and she meets the prince. It is a very cute story. It wasn't as good as Ella Enchanted, but I still really enjoyed it. Then I read 3 books from the High Society series, all 3 of them. High Society, Uncommon Criminals, and Perfect Scoundrels. These were very good. They follow a girl named Kat and her best friend, a boy named Hale, and they basically are thieves, actually, but they're not like bad or anything. It's kind of comical and it's kind of cute. She decides she wants to leave this life of crime, and so she does, but then her dad gets in trouble, so she goes and tries to save him. It actually is cute, and she soon starts deciding to steal for the good, and it's very cute. It wasn't one of my favorite series of the year, but I definitely really enjoyed it. I also read Understood Betsy, which was just another really cozy childhood favorite for me. It follows the story of a girl who has lived with her aunt her whole life, but her aunt's mother gets sick, so she has to go away and take care of her and can't be with the girl anymore. So this girl goes to this family who's a little bit rougher, but they really, really love her, and it's just a really cute story. It plays out in just a really cute way. I also read Snow and Rose. That was one of my favorite books for the year. It's a classic twist on, it's a twist on a classic fairy tale, but it was really enjoyable for me. It was one of my favorite books of the year, like I said, and it was just cute. It follows Snow and Rose after their father goes into the woods and never comes back, and it kind of their transition into their new life, but it is just very cozy and magical feeling, so I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I read a lot of mild books, so if you like books like that, you might want to consider picking some of these up. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.